Welcome to Startup Grind. How many people are here for the first time? Raise your hand. Wow, okay. Hey. Yay! So Startup Grind is a group that was started in 2010 in Silicon Valley with Derek Anderson and a statue of Bill Gates on one side and a paper statue of Mark Zuckerberg on the other side, and that was his staff. So he sort of started with this dream that he could have people talking about startups with mentors and people interested in every aspect of sort of building startups across the world. And he started with just his garage in Mountain View and a dream. Today there are 220 cities in the world that have startup grinds. I started Las Vegas chapter 3 years ago. I think we were the 70th chapter. And then we have had, with only a couple exceptions, we pretty much had every month since for about a little over 3 years now. My name is Michael Turpin. I moved here from Los Angeles when I sold my startup, or actually before I sold my startup. I think if you're all aware of the little thing called no state taxes in Nevada, so many of you are here for that if you're born here. And so that's why I moved here. Taxes keep going up in California. So I think Las Vegas is a great place for entrepreneurs. I currently run something called Transform Group, which has a couple of different divisions. Transform PR, which is a PR agency, a global PR agency for technology companies. The areas we specialize in the most are emerging technologies like virtual reality. We have a number of high-profile clients in that area, and Bitcoin and blockchain, which I got sucked down the rabbit hole about 3.5 years ago. Anybody wants to talk to me about that, talk your ear off. We work with about 65 of the top Bitcoin and blockchain companies in the world right now, and that's led to another division called Coinnovate, where we actually do blockchain consulting and have actually built some digital assets for companies right here in Las Vegas with the staff that we have here. Our PR firm also has offices in the Bay Area and in Los Angeles. And I actually earlier this year moved to Puerto Rico. So I still have this is sort of advanced tech strategy. Whereas a friend of mine who walked up to me in Los Angeles last week where I was speaking said, "Oh, so I get it. Vegas is the gateway drug." Puerto Rico, for those of you who don't know, has this thing they passed in late 2012 called Act 22, which if you are an angel investor, you can look this up, I'll send you a link. If you're an angel investor, if you run a fund, hedge funds are the main ones that take advantage of this. If you're a startup, you expect to have a big exit. There is no capital gains for the next 20 years. Zero. So you basically stop paying the IRS. This is not state tax, this is federal tax. You stop paying the IRS because you're a resident there. You start paying something called the hacienda, is their IRS, which is a little lower tax rate for your ordinary income, but then you pay 0% on long-term capital gains and 0% on short-term capital gains, which is why I moved down there, because I work with a lot of cryptocurrency companies, and sometimes they pay me in cryptocurrency that goes way up and then immediately goes way down, and I want to sell it before it goes down, and that might be before a year. So, but it's anybody wants to talk about Puerto Rico, I'm happy to do that. I still, do spend quite a bit of my time in Las Vegas, still have a home here, and my wife's selling a few of our other rental homes and buying stuff in Puerto Rico. She wants to buy a hotel actually, and so that's my story. And Molly out there is with our social media group, Social Radius. And our biggest office for that is in Las Vegas. About a year ago or so, I decided to hand off the group to someone who was sort of helping out a little bit, and only lasted, I think, one or two things, and then they ended up doing other things. And Warren, who's been a supporter for many years, said, we really miss Startup Grind. I don't want to run on my own, but if you guys could sort of provide the backstop, I'll be happy to do every other one with you. And I think you've done more than that. You've probably done 2/3 of them. Because Sam was going to Puerto Rico, right? Yeah. So. I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad I'm not even doing the interviews. So, but this is a monthly thing. It's really built a great community. And then every January we also hold a giant one of these at my house as part of the big CES party list party, so don't miss that. My wife lays out a spread for like 300 people you wouldn't believe. So
best CES party.
thank you. We are here also at the generous donation of this fine facility, which all startups need to know about. Work in progress, and I'd like for you to give a little word. And then
I'm Veronica. I work here at Work in Progress. This is my first startup ride, so I'm pretty excited. I was out of town for the last one. I was like, oh, that sucks. But Work in Progress is just a co-working space here downtown. We offer a variety of amenities for startups, seasoned entrepreneurs, as well as people that are just trying to find a place to get work done. So people that work from home, maybe you do get productive at home, but you don't necessarily want to have meetings or things like that in your laundry room or any other place at your house. So we offer room reservations. We have business and mailing addresses for people that are trying to start their businesses here in Las Vegas. And we have mentors that come through that volunteer their time from different industries that want to meet with people and just help people cultivate the Vegas and entrepreneurial scene here in Las Vegas. So if you guys have any questions about Work in Progress or like different amenities and opportunities that you could have here with our different memberships, I'll be at the front desk.
you still have the Wednesday special?
We don't, but we do have, we don't have the Wednesday special, unfortunately. But on Thursdays, so tomorrow morning from 10 to 11, we have a thing called Coffee and Code. No actual coding happens there anymore, but it's more of a, one company brings like donuts or breakfast tacos or whatever, another company brings coffee. People just network and have casual conversations about whatever they would like. So some are pretty directed on a specific topic, others are just kind of interested in meeting new people. So you guys are more than welcome to come down from 10 to 11 tomorrow morning.
Creative morning?
On the 24th, am I right?
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
The 24th, so
Close
we
enough.
have creative mornings coming up, which is very similar to like a fireside chat like this, and you guys are more than welcome to come.
Very good.
Thanks, guys!
Whitlock is a legend in the social media and content marketing worlds. He wrote the very first book on Twitter marketing, and number of other things too numerous to talk about, but you can talk a little bit about it. And then,
My kind of intro.
And then there you go, and then you can give the intro to Howard.
Okay, great. Let me see, a couple of things. If you haven't given me a business card or you're not hearing about these, well, let me do a little survey. Where did you guys find out about this? Anybody find out about it on Facebook, Twitter? Facebook, Twitter, meetup group?
Yes. Our digital marketing company.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Work in Progress.
Right. Good. We didn't. We didn't send out any. We didn't send out much in the way of emails or anything. The early bird special was sold out before we held our last meeting. So this is kind of a small venue for us. We've had 50 to 100 people at other locations, and we count all 300 people at Michael's house. CES party, even though a lot of our friends from out of town are there, and so there's a huge community here, and they're all people like you, all ready to learn, ready to help, do whatever. So you need anything at all, community. And if I haven't connected with you, come up, give me a business card. I'll make sure you find out more about us and when we're having the next meeting. Right now we don't have any meetings scheduled. Probably a little bit slow for the summer, but we're not going away.
It'll be August. We'll just skip July.
Yeah.
It's good to skip July here.
Yeah, we're all going to go to Puerto Rico and lay on the sea with Michael in July. So that's it. And so Howard Dove, I've known about for now months. He has like the best publicist in the world. Single person. There's publicists.
Yes, we're not book publicists.
Yeah, you're not publicists. Yeah, this is a person that works their butt off to get your book for things. And she reached out to me on some other project. I told her, she told me about Howard and the book was coming out. And I said, well, if he ever comes to Las Vegas, we want to interview him. And I was kind of surprised when I got a reply that said, yeah, he's on a driving book tour and will be in Vegas.
Yeah, it's not hard to get me to Vegas.
This is what I'm finding, where we tend to be a draw. You know, 42 million people come here every year, 2 million people live here, so almost everybody's a tourist.
I thought you were going to say 42 million people come here and 2 leave.
Yeah. Well, yeah. we try to get them to stay till they're out of money, but you know, then they have to have enough to go home. So those of us who didn't make that stay here forever. And what have I missed? What should we be telling people about you?
Wow. First, I just want to say that you know, I want to hire Michael as my tax consultant. You are on it. I'm still in California, so yeah.
We don't even ask if you're in California. We know you need help.
Start with Vegas, the gateway drug.
Wow. Yeah. But let's see. I have been an entrepreneur for, you know, I hate to say this, but for 35 years. I started a company or two where I went to college. I went to Colgate and really wasn't the student type necessarily. So a friend of mine and I got really interested in applying. Back then, he was the kind of computer scientist, and the school had I think it was called a super mini. It was technically not a mainframe, but it would have covered, you know, the size of this building, probably, and I'm sure it had less power than an iPhone today. But anyway, we started experimenting on how we could use that computer to make money, and specifically develop trading systems and stuff like that. And then we ended up starting a company or two out of that, and one thing kind of, you know, rolled right into the next, and eventually that company, we merged with another company, went public, and then I met up with my venture partner, David Heeman, who I mentioned earlier, and we've been doing angel investing for the last probably 20 years, and we've invested in 50 or 60 different startups. And then during that time, I was also doing my own startups, and then him and I would co-found startups. And so I've done about a total of about 15 startups so far. Either founded or co-founded. And so right now, I spend about half my time or more on my own company that I own and operate, which I love, which is called Love to Know, and it's a digital media company. We own 4 primary websites. It's lovetoknow.com, yourdictionary.com. Love to Know is targeted at women 25 to 55, and it's about the size of somewhere around Oprah or Martha Stewart or something like that. And we have Your Dictionary, which is the third or fourth largest dictionary on the net. And then recently, this past year, we acquired a site called GolfLink, which is the 4th largest golf site. And we just acquired another cool company called Trails.com. So I've been in the digital media space, and then the other half of my time is spent on other startups, that either we've co-founded or that we have an investment in. And so, you know, it kind of keeps me busy.
Yeah.
Keeps me
Okay.
out of trouble.
I got a couple of questions I think people are going to want to know about that. Where to drill down on the companies or on what is an angel investor and things like that. I know, you know, I've got a familiarity because I've been watching it for that long.
Yeah.
But help some of us out here. I think everybody would want to know why do you choose an angel investment, and what kind of range is that, and you know, where's the top that you say I can't do that? That's got to be a VC. Am I asking the question even right?
No, no. It you know, as I was explaining, yes, we were talking earlier, but it also relates to the conversation that Dell and I were having earlier. You know, the venture capital world, and I'm kind of loosely throwing angels in that world because, of course, it is venture capital. You know, there's all these different tiers of money. There's all these different tiers of funding sources. And each funding source acts differently. They have different expectations. They have different, you know, limits that they like to play in, and different sort of roles and responsibilities. So, you know, you start with, you know, whatever you got in the bank, right? We'll start at the base level, then work our way up. Because there's a lot of different tiers. So you start with whatever you got in the bank. Mm-hmm. And you know what? You know, I guess you got to answer to the wife if you're married or whatever, but you know, you kind of, that's your deal. You kind of do whatever you want. The next level up is typically friends and family, where you say, you know, Uncle Joe or, you know, Aunt Sally or whatever it is, or dad or sister, hey, I got this amazing idea, they're crazy enough, they know you, so they believe in you, and so you've got a lot of credit and so forth. They're typically unsophisticated. I don't mean that meanly. They're just, they're not doing it because they're geniuses at this typically. They're doing it because they want to support you and your friend or family, right? And so the terms are typically quite wide open. As I say in the book, you have to be careful to give them good economic terms and not take advantage of the situation and so forth. So that's friends and family. Next level up would be angel investors, and that's where I play. And angel investors are more sophisticated. They're going to do more due diligence. They may do it because they know you and like you, but that's not why. That's not why they're doing it. That may be a requirement. They're going to have specific. They're going to have specific things expectations for what they want to get out of it, timelines and so forth. But angels are all over the map, and we operate slightly different than your average angel.